This one post has ignited world's nuclear fears again. President Donald Trump announces that the United States will start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis with Russia and China, 30 years after America's last detonation in Nevada. The commander-in-chief threatens to break a decades-old taboo. No prior warning to the Pentagon, no allied consultation, just a digital declaration of intent. It's the loudest signal yet that Washington is ready to weaponize the balance of fear once again. Inside Washington, confusion turns to alarm. The White House offers no clarification, the Pentagon no plan. Experts say America's test infrastructure lies dormant. Restarting it could take at least 3 years. Yet the political detonation is complete. The US, holder of roughly 3,700 nuclear warheads, of which 1,170 are deployed according to SIPRI, has re-entered the escalation race it once sought to freeze.
Why did you write your Truth Social about nuclear testing? What about resuming nuclear testing? What prompted you to do that right before the meeting?
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing.
Russia?
We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. You know, we've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Any details around the testing, sir? Like where, when?
It'll be announced. You know, we have test sites. It'll be announced.
Trump's words followed a spectacle of Russian strength. In the span of 10 days, Vladimir Putin personally oversaw a strategic triad drill, a Burevestnik cruise missile test, and activation of the Poseidon nuclear drone. None were nuclear explosions, but each demonstrated delivery capability across land, sea, and air. SIPRI estimates Russia's arsenal at 5,580 warheads, with 1,010 deployed and hundreds more on alert. Moscow remains the planet's largest nuclear power and wants everyone to remember it. The Kremlin's line was immediate. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov told TASS there is no new arms race, insisting the Burevestnik test did not violate the moratorium. But his warning was sharper. If any country withdraws from the moratorium, Russia will respond accordingly. He also confirmed Washington offered no advance notice of Trump's move. Behind that diplomatic calm sits the readiness of hundreds of strategic missiles primed for instant response. Beijing, now the third vertex in this triangle, urged restraint. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun said the US must honor its obligations under the Test Ban Treaty. But behind the lectern, China's arsenal is no longer modest. SIPRI reports around 500 warheads, up nearly 90 from 2024, the sharpest year-on-year rise among all nuclear power. US intelligence expects Beijing to double that figure by 2030. For Washington and Moscow, China's silent build-up is the real trigger of this race.
Both teams should promptly refine and finalize follow-up arrangements to safeguard and implement these shared understandings. China expects the United States to earnestly fulfill its obligations under the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty and honor its commitment to suspend nuclear testing, thereby upholding the international nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation regime through concrete actions and preserving global strategic equilibrium and stability.
Legally, no one's breaking anything. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty bans all explosions, but the US never ratified it, and Russia revoked its ratification in 2023. Both now occupy a murky space of voluntary restraint. Its geopolitical theater under the cover of legality, posture, threaten, modernize, just don't detonate. And in that gray zone, deterrence quietly mutates into danger. The timing isn't random. It's political. Trump's second meeting with Putin has been quietly postponed, even as back-channel talks over Ukraine have stalled. The war grinds on. Russian troops hold the east, Ukraine bleeds resources, and Europe braces for another winter of war fatigue. Inside NATO, pressure is mounting on Trump to force an end to the conflict, but the Kremlin refuses to yield an inch. At the same time, China stands firmly behind Moscow, deepening energy and defense ties, a signal that the East is closing ranks as the West fractures. Trump's nuclear declaration may not just be about testing weapons, it could be a calculated warning to both Putin and Xi that America won't back down, even under Allied pressure. The numbers tell the story. Russia and the USA together possess around 90% of all nuclear weapons. US, Russia, and China control over 9,700 of the world's 2,200 warheads. Nearly 2,800 are on high operational alert, ready for launch within minutes. Every capital is now modernizing. New missiles, new submarines, new silos, new logic. The Cold War once froze the world with 2 fingers on the button. Today, there are 3, and the race has already restarted. Not with an explosion, but with a declaration.